escape to the country. Now, all over the UK, there are stone circles just like this one. For centuries, scholars have debated their origins and their purpose. More often than not, though, they're surrounded in mystery and intrigue. But in this case, we know all about it. So where are we, and what does it all mean? Well, join me in just a few moments, and I'll tell you. On today's show, we've been entrusted with helping two self-confessed townies to finally find some rural respite.
Well, that's a bit special, isn't it?
And though they struggle with the right vibes in one place,
I'm not quite getting the feel.
we could hit the jackpot.
This is absolutely the real wow.
Well, today we're in Somerset, and this stone circle is in the middle of Ham Hill, a local beauty spot towards the south of the county. Now, Ham Hill itself is an Iron Age hill fort. It dates from about 800 BC, but since it was constructed, it's also become a source for this gorgeous, honey-coloured local hamstone. Now, the stone circle itself was put up at the turn of the millennium to commemorate the struggle and toil of all of those who've worked here over the last 2,000 years or so to extract this stuff. But it's the sort of story we shouldn't forget. Just imagine what would happen if, in a couple of thousand years' time, archaeologists of the future didn't know about it. They might think the circle was much older than it really is. Now, despite the obvious gloom on the horizon over my shoulder, take it from me, Somerset is a beautiful county, especially when the sun is shining. And when it comes to house prices, well, they make for some fairly interesting reading too. At £263,000, your average property here is a mere £5,000 over the national average. Now, as with anywhere, of course, there are some places that attract a premium, not least the pretty little villages of Coombe St Nicholas and Hinton St George. But if you want a bit more bang for your buck, why not head south towards the Dorset border? There, around Yeovil and Ilminster, you'll certainly get a little bit more for your money. But this is certainly a place with something for everyone, including, of course, today's buyers. So let's go and meet them and find out what they're after. Retired postman Andy caught the eye of his partner Fiona in a shoe shop 8 years ago. They share this 3-bedroom 1960s detached house in Haywards Heath near the south coast, but are looking for a new stomping ground to call home.
We're both from the outskirts of London, and when we moved here, this was escaping to the country.
Yeah, this was the country.
But now it's catching up. It's almost like a suburb of London.
It's a bit too busy now, and we want to take that next step to
get back to the country.
be in the country.
So the plan is to swap suburban East Sussex for the wilds of the West Country.
We particularly want to go to Somerset or Somerset-Dorset borders because it's an area that we've known, we've been on holiday, it's quite close to friends and relatives, and
Not too far from the sea,
yes,
which is a big plus for me.
And there's another member of their party with itchy feet.
We've got a fairly large dog, a flat-coated retriever called Toto, who we got from a puppy.
And he's a big dog, so he quite enjoys, doesn't he?
He needs a lot of exercise, so we need to find some more walks for him.
We do.
With 4 legs catered for, there are also half a dozen 4-wheelers that take top priority.
My passion, as it were, are old cars. Although we have a garage here, it's quite small, it's quite tight, and I'm getting to the age where I can't contort my body well enough to get into the positions I need to. Obviously, when we move, we'll have to try and accommodate them. So a bigger garage and a bigger drive would be, and I'd be as happy as anything.
For Andy, it's classic cars, but for Fiona, it's classy cakes.
I spend most of my time in the kitchen. I love baking. I bake many cakes. I've done pop-up tea rooms with a friend of mine. Unfortunately, at the moment, because I've got no pop-up tea rooms, Andy seems to be eating most of the cakes. My must-haves are definitely a fairly large kitchen. The garden we've got at the moment is nice, but it's a little bit small. So I'm thinking that I would like a little bit of a larger garden, so possibly grow a few vegetables, not a huge amount.
Both Andy and Fiona have grown-up children from previous partners, but this move represents a defining moment in their relationship.
Well, we've been together for 8 years now. We want to actually go somewhere on our own terms. We want to decide where we're going to live.
Exactly, somewhere that we both want to live,
And
as opposed to just meeting and just continuing with life as it was.
Yeah, and to incorporate retirement. So it's a huge step for us.
It is.
All that's left is to find out the figure they're willing to spend on their new Somerset venture.
The budget for this move would be £375, but if you found us an absolute dream house, we could probably stretch to £400.
To stay connected to their families, Andy and Fiona would like good access to the A303, so we'll be concentrating our house search on the pretty villages in the south of the county, close to the border with Dorset. And it's in a peaceful Somerset spot where we're all meeting up to nail the finer details of their move. Hi Andy, nice to see
Jules. Nice to meet you.
Well guys, welcome to Somerset, the land, they say, of the summer people. And although the sun is shining today, it is bitterly cold.
It's
Very
freezing.
cold, yeah.
Now, you spent quite a long time thinking about this ideal property. What's in your mind at the moment, Fiona?
In my mind, roses around the door, pretty, in a nice little village, perhaps with a village pub and general store or something like that. Not too big, but we are essentially, I think, townies, so we don't want to be too far from the main.
That's not a phrase we hear very often. We're essentially townies. But I know what you mean, and it's right to be honest about these things. We all need amenities, after all. But nonetheless, you're still keen on something, well, maybe chocolate boxy, I suppose.
I am, definitely.
You've obviously got quite a big extended family. How many bedrooms do you need?
We've said 3 bedrooms.
3, 4 would be nice,
4,
but we can cope
ideally,
with 3.
But, yeah.
So we don't really want a project, do we?
A project, it depends, not a full restoration, but certainly we could take on some work.
OK, good. Now, let's have a think about money. How much does this whole endeavour need to cost you?
Max 400,000.
yeah.
Right then, well, let's head off into this land of the summer people while there still is a bit of sunshine. See if we can warm up. Come on.
Look forward to it. Thanks.
For a top budget of £400,000, Fiona and Andy are looking for a characterful property with at least 3 bedrooms and a large kitchen diner. Outside, they want a good-sized garden and the capacity to house Andy's classic car collection. As for the location, they're ideally after somewhere a short stroll from a shop and the local pub. And I'm hoping that our lineup of textbook country properties will appeal to them. But I'll keep them guessing as to what each house is worth until the end of the tour. Then to finish up, there's the mystery house, which might be a little less sweet, but a lot more substantial. So how do your family feel about this move from Sussex?
They're all very cool about it. My 2 children are older and off anyway. And
my
your 3 are
3
quite happy.
Have also go for it, which is a nice situation to be in.
And the whole idea is that the children will come and spend perhaps more quality time with us.
Well, property number 1 is not that far away now. And as you probably gathered, we are heading toward Dorset.
We are.
Well, Fiona and Andy have said they wouldn't mind a bit of border hopping, but we're not jumping over just yet, because property number 1 is in the village of Rimpton, right on the Somerset-Dorset border. Rimpton is just 5 miles from the beautiful abbey town of Sherborne, which has a variety of independent shops and pubs to choose from. The streets are chock full of historic interest, with architecture that spans the 17th, 18th and 19th centuries, much of which has been constructed from the distinctive mellow hamstone. And back in Rimpton, we have another property with vintage pedigree that we've chosen as our first house.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That's fantastic.
Yeah? Chocolate boxy?
It is.
Certainly.
So it has all the pretty charm that I think you were looking for.
I think you're right.
Now, in terms of garaging...
I'm not seeing one, yes. I'm not seeing one.
I'm afraid you're not going to. The parking is there. But we have a solution for you. About 10 minutes down the road is Sparkford. And in Sparkford, we have located a hangar.
Ah.
Now, it's a huge kind of barn, which you can garage your cars in, and it has some separate garages as well, which you can lock your bits and pieces away in.
Oh.
Now, all of that is about £600 to £800 a year to rent.
Oh, that's not too bad at all.
But it does mean they're all off-site.
I won't have to look out the window at
You
them.
don't have to
No.
look at them. Come on, then let's have a look
Can't wait to
inside.
look
Thank you.
inside.
Thatched fairly recently, within the last 7 years, this Grade 2 listed attached property appears to have all the hallmarks of a classic and cosy English cottage. But there's a lot more to this place than immediately meets the eye. Right, Fiona.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's
beautiful.
Beautiful room, isn't it?
And I love the Ngunuk.
Yes, it's gorgeous, isn't it? But the detailing here I love. I mean, the panelling there is fabulous.
Yes.
Really, really nice.
Beautiful.
But a nice little feature.
Yes, these are lovely little salt stores, dating from way back when. Good, so we're happy with the living room.
We like the living room.
Very.
We like it very much.
In this main reception room, there's also a staircase that leads directly into the master bedroom, which is one of 2 staircases. But we're going to continue our tour of the ground floor, where there's 2 separate study areas, one of which has double patio doors out to the back garden. Up next, though, is the dining room. So here we are, feeding time in the dining room.
This is
very
another
good
nice
size room.
Yes. Another nice room.
I mean, we've talked about Fiona's love of chocolate box. I mean, is this you as well, Andy?
Oh, I like it, yes, yes. I mean, I'm probably the one that looks beyond into the practicalities of it all. But yeah, my initial reaction is it looks lovely. It's got the character. I mean, it's an overused word, but it's got it in spades, hasn't
Yes,
it?
you've done very well. I like it.
Right, good. So far, so good. Let's have a look at the kitchen through here.
Right.
There you go.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this is a nice
Nice,
size.
like the cooker.
It's the way you
Wonderful
said
at home.
okay that perhaps betrays your slight disappointment at the fact that it's not
Not quite my big,
farmhouse kitchen.
yeah. I mean, I like this bit where you've got the cooker.
It's a question of whether you can work with this, given that you've got the dining room right next door. There's also a huge utility room behind us.
So this is essentially just
Yes, just
cooking,
for food
really, isn't it?
preparation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no.
No, it's, yeah, not too bad.
Not too bad, not too bad. Come on. There are no compromises upstairs.
Okay.
No, no, look, this is the other staircase. Come and have a
Oh,
look.
I see.
Look at this.
This is the upstairs.
Yeah. Come and see.
Oh, mind how you go.
Yeah, more character
Oh, yes.
up here. Look at these boards.
These stairs are
Wow.
challenging.
Now, you've got 3
Yes.
bedrooms.
I like.
One double there, really nice vaulted ceiling in it.
Oh, that's, yes, yes,
Lovely guest room.
yes.
Yeah, come on. A smaller double with exposed woodwork lies in the middle of the property, right opposite a large family bathroom. And a wooden staircase in the hallway goes up to an attic room. That leaves the rooms we have earmarked for Andy and Fiona. This effectively is like a master suite. There's a dressing room in there.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, I like that.
Yes. There's an ensuite there for you.
Oh my God.
And then this is your bit.
Wow.
Oh, yes. Oh, this we like, yes.
Oh, it's very
Yes,
nice.
this is a lovely, yes.
Yeah, deceptive actually.
And I love,
like it.
yeah, I love the idea that you can roll out of bed and roll down the
Roll down the stairs, exactly, yeah. Well, let's try it. Let's go outside
We'll
and
have to put a guard across there, I think.
have a look at the garden. The staircase from the master bedroom winds its way downstairs and takes us back to the main sitting room, where we're headed for the garden. There's more to this than meets the eye. Vegetable patch over there, currently under plastic. Shed, the well.
Yes, isn't
That's-
it? And the pond.
And a pond. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So how much do we think property number 1 is worth? Who's going to go first?
You go first.
I'll go first. The scary bit. I think 395,000 within our budget. Just.
Andy?
Well, I'm mindful of the fact that there's no garage and it's attached, so I'm going to go a bit lower. I'm going to say 370. I'm hopeful, you say.
You are hopeful. Well, it's as well you are, Andy.
Ah.
Because this could be yours for 375.
Ah. First blood to me.
Really?
Yeah. Go and have a look.
Oh,
Right.
Off you
Thank
go.
you.
I'll catch
Thanks.
up with you later.
Okay.
There we are. Well, our property number 1, our gorgeous thatch, has one word, I think, that is attached to it, and that is deceptive. This place is far bigger than any of us thought. Under budget with a guide price of £375,000, the first in our selection is a charming listed period cottage that's brimming with character. It comes with a generous sitting room, a large separate dining room, and the potential for 4 bedrooms, including a master ensuite. And outside, the level private garden already has an established plot for growing veggies.
The loft was brilliant. That wasn't what I was expecting at all. The kitchen needs a bit of thought, but I think that we could do something with that. Perhaps some new units.
My only concern with the exterior is the fact that there's only parking for one. And I don't see how we could make parking for two, because realistically we're still going to need 2 cars here. The upstairs was a revelation. It was bigger than we thought it would be. As a starting point, we liked it a lot.
Ah, here you are. I thought I'd find you in here. I think this is your favourite room, isn't it?
Yes, we like this one.
Very
we
much.
do.
This was the perfect place to start with this property, because it really has set the scene as to what you really like, that cosy cottage feel. But I'm going to drag you away because we've got 2 more to look at, including, of course, our mystery house. So, ready?
Lead on.
From ancient landscapes to ancient sites of worship, history surrounds you everywhere in Somerset. And nowhere more so than Bath, whose natural hot springs have cemented the city as a centre of recreation and relaxation for at least 2,000 years. In the 18th century, Bath developed into a highly fashionable spa town and still highlights some of the most impressive Georgian architecture in the country. And one of the oldest houses, with Roman origins, is also the only place in the world to find one of Bath's signature delicacies, called the Sally Lunn bun. So where better to send our cake connoisseur Fiona and her sweet-tooth partner Andy? During the week, they met Jonathan Overton for a lesson in making and tasting this historic treat.
Nice to see you.
you.
Yeah, welcome to Sally Lunn's. Come on in.
Created by a French refugee who lived here over 300 years ago, the Sally Lunn bun is similar to brioche. It's made combining eggs, butter and warm milk, but the exact ingredients are a closely guarded secret.
Pour that in there. Great, perfect.
Okay.
That's lovely.
Is that right?
Yeah, no, that's fine. You can't go wrong in there. You have just lots of
I
energy
can.
and you'll be fine.
I can.
No,
Give
you'll be
this a bit
fine.
of a mix?
Yeah, give it a bit of a whisk. Yeah, well done.
It's said that this classified recipe got lost in the late 1800s, but was discovered in a cupboard when the property was restored in the 1930s.
Pour this in here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Right, this is the bit where you get to be really mucky.
Oh, this I can be really
Fantastic.
creative
Yeah,
now.
in you go. Right then, try not to get us all covered. Yeah, well done. Oh, give it a good... Ah, that's
As you're doing
fantastic.
that bit.
This is like sunfoil.
Do you want to get in there as well?
I can
Well,
get
so why
in
don't you
there.
both have a go? Go on, get in there.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Gosh.
How did the buns used to be baked before modern technology?
Well, we've got a very special oven in the cellars of Sally Lunn's house, which is called a faggot oven. And a faggot was a bunch of twigs that were tied together, and they would set fire to these twigs in the oven. And then when they'd finished burning, they would rake the embers away and then cook on the residual heat. So there wasn't quite the controllability of modern ovens. So everything was a little bit more
Hit and miss
time-consuming
almost,
and a bit messy
yeah.
and a lot more smoky,
I
but
bet.
certainly hotter.
The dough is then weighed and rolled into equal-sized balls, and after they've been left to prove, they're into the oven to bake. The bakery serves this unique, light and delicate bread with a range of sweet or savoury toppings.
Delicious.
With a celebrated and unique Somerset recipe to add to Fiona's portfolio, it's time we return to the house hunt. For our next destination, we're travelling east and popping over the Somerset border to Fontmell Magna in North Dorset, which takes Fiona closer to the beguiling south coast. With documented evidence of a settlement here over 1,000 years ago, the historic Fontmell Magna is a highly desirable village within an area of outstanding natural beauty. The quiet winding lanes are lined with a mix of old and new properties, as well as a pub and a village shop. And after our success with the thatched property this morning, we're serving up another one. Our second property of the day. There you go.
Very nice. Another thatch.
It's another thatch, and it's also another semi-detached.
Yep.
But this one does have a garage. And, you know, some proper off-street parking for you. Now, it's also a step forward, I think, in terms of the kitchen that's on offer. As you will see when we get inside, you're going to love it. Well, let's get out of this wispy snow, shall we? Come on.
Let's go.
Built in the 1800s with attractive banded brick and flint, as well as timber cladding, this is another surprising cottage. For beyond the classic frontage, at the back of the property is a contemporary oak-framed extension given over entirely to the kitchen. There. That's what I was promising you.
Wow. Yes, now this is much more like it.
Yes.
That's a bit special, isn't it?
Yeah. Lovely, isn't it? Green oak. It's only about 5 years old.
I do like, and I like the outlook as well.
Yeah. The island is movable, so you could actually have a great big kitchen table in there if you wanted to.
No, this is quite exceptional.
Very nice.
Yeah. Now, but this is what I was saying. This bit is the wow factor. This, I think, is the part of the property that really sells it. What it really needs is this touch to be carried through to the rest of it.
Right.
And you'll see what I mean. But I think it's all doable. Most of it's just cosmetic. And it's underfloor heating. Thank goodness. Good. On a day like this, yeah.
The modern kitchen extension has been added to the back of the original property via the main hallway. And it's inside the older part of the cottage where the layout gets more unorthodox, with a bedroom and family bathroom down on the ground floor. Then to the far side of the hallway are 2 main reception rooms.
Now this is the dining room, as it's currently set up. Cosy.
It is, but nicely cosy.
Yeah, there's a nice little sort of feature fireplace arrangement behind us there too, which you might be able to do something else with. And we've got this dual aspect going on right through the property, which is quite nice. These lovely cottagey windows. So, you know, it's certainly got the right components. I think it's just a case, as I said earlier, of joining it up with what's been going on in the kitchen. And it continues through here into the living room. There.
That's cosy.
Yes.
I mean, similar to property number 1, we've got the beams, you know, lovely big ingle nook. That is a multi-fuel burner, so coal and wood in there.
No, I do. I like it. It's just, I'm not quite getting the feel.
So we had a wow,
Wow in the kitchen.
and now we're...
Yeah, I think that's probably it. It was the
Yeah.
wow in the
Gone
kitchen.
from wow
that's-
to ow.
Apart from being lost for words at the start, we've now lost a crucial letter and our buyer's enthusiasm. So let's turn our attention to the bedrooms. Along with the double bedroom and the family bathroom downstairs, there are a further 3 bedrooms upstairs. Here again, there are 2 staircases, one to access 1 bedroom and another that leads to 2, and one of those is the master.
Oh, this is a sweet little room.
This is what we're thinking about for you.
Okay, this is the
Yeah,
master.
this could,
Yes.
could work.
It's the biggest, it's the squarest of the bedrooms on offer here.
Right.
There's some built-in storage over there, and through that little door in the corner is a loo as well.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
And of course you've got the bedroom across the hallway there, the landing, which
Yeah,
again might lend itself to a dressing room.
it's growing on me, I think, yeah.
Are you being generous?
This house is a tough one, as it does take time to figure out both the geography and the mix of styles. But now to figure out the price.
Well, this is a nice place to finish up. Almost back where we started, aren't we?
We are.
Pretty much. Well, I thought we'd finish off here in the kitchen, because although we need to see the garden, you can see it from here, and it's so cold outside, it's a nicer place to do it from. OK, well, let's move on then to the final stage of the process, which is, of course, what?
How much?
How much? Exactly. Now, you had to go first last time, so, Andy, over to you.
I'm going to go for 410,000.
410,000, yeah, Fiona?
I'm going to go for 415.
This could be yours for 395.
Oh, right.
Oh, so just under budget.
Oh, pleasantly surprised.
Check out that other staircase, and I'll catch up with you a little bit later on.
Okay,
you, we
well,
will.
thank you.
With an asking price of £395,000, our second property offers an intriguing mix of 19th century history with 21st century design, and features a stunning kitchen breakfast room, 2 receptions and 4 bedrooms. Then outside there's the all-important garage, as well as off-street parking.
Oh, I think this is a female room.
It is a bit different.
Oh, this has got...
Mind that.
oh, it's a bit like in the other one.
The kitchen is beautiful. We really, really like the kitchen. Nice and light. Beautiful views over to fields. Unfortunately, the rest of the house didn't really do a lot for me, I have to say. I appreciate that the location is fabulous, but the actual size of the house possibly isn't, or the way it's configured isn't the right place for us.
The lounge is quirky. and comfortable, but it hasn't got that the same sort of homely feel that we felt in the first house. Right, well, I think we could probably make this into an L shape if we went round to the back.
Yeah.
Ah, you see, I knew you'd be out here. There's no escaping the cars, is there?
Natural habitat.
Pretending to be interested.
Well, look, that is it, I'm afraid. Our 2 houses for today are done.
Right.
It's still snowing.
It is.
Should we go and have some supper?
That sounds like a wonderful idea.
It's the second day of our property search, and with a budget of £400,000, we're helping Andy and Fiona to swap a suburban setting in an East Sussex town for the serenity of Somerset. Still to come, a sight for sore eyes in the Mystery House.
Oh, those views are to die for.
And I'll be trying some DIY, medieval style.
I don't think I'm going to do very well here, am I? Well, as we head off into our final day of house hunting, it is perhaps worth sparing a thought as to what happened yesterday. It certainly bears out the old adage that some you win and some you lose. Property number 1 was most definitely a winner, but property 2, I think, struggled to convince both Andy and Fiona that it was the house for them. So what have we got for our final offering, our mystery property?
Our last stop takes us over towards the southwestern portion of Somerset, where we're destined for the small hamlet of Sticklepath within the shadow of the Blackdown Hills. And we're making an impromptu visit into the heart of the Blackdowns to give Andy and Fiona a little taste of what's on offer.
It's amazing up here, isn't it?
It's lovely.
This overnight snow has made it rather pretty.
Like the enchanted forest. It's beautiful.
This is what I wanted you to see.
My goodness.
Oh, that's stunning. Absolutely
Really special.
stunning.
Really special.
The hills themselves are an area of outstanding natural beauty, and they cover about 370 odd square kilometres. It's a huge area. It's a massive area. And, you know, with the dog and walking and having somewhere to just...
Oh, it'll just be, this is
Yeah, I think that
ideal.
The mystery house is down there.
Really looking forward to it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Happy?
Very.
Despite the overnight snow. Come on.
We continue our journey towards the edge of the Blackdown Hills on the outskirts of Coombe St Nicholas, which is a sleepy village that benefits from a convenience store with post office and a pub featuring live music. But our mystery house isn't smack bang in the middle of the village as our buyers wanted. Instead, we're going right off the beaten track into the quiet countryside hamlet of Sticklepath, a good 15 minutes walk away.
This is our mystery property. What do you reckon?
Looks nice from the outside.
It's huge.
Yeah. Looks as though it's got beautiful views as well.
It's got amazing views, and the further up the garden you get, the better they become. All in all, it's about an acre.
Oh. It's a lot.
Yes?
Bigger than the last garden, yeah.
Yeah, it's by far the biggest space we've been able to find you. And I suppose similarly to our first 2 properties, it was originally 2 cottages. I think it's a really interesting one, this.
Okay.
And loads of space for you.
Can we go and have a look?
You certainly can, yeah, come on
You
then.
need to see this one.
Set in an elevated position, this sprawling mystery property gives our buyers an alternative style to the traditional chocolate box they requested. But that's not to say this one is without character. So let's see what Andy and Fiona make of this design, starting at the back of the house and straight into the kitchen.
Here we are.
Right.
Come on in, Fiona.
I don't even think I need to see inside.
Really?
I'm just blown
We're just
away by
loving
the
the outside.
outside and the garden.
Yeah,
This is nice.
it is.
And as you can see,
Really
it's all
nice,
very
this kitchen.
much, you know, done. You know, very easy, just
Could move straight in.
ready to move into. Absolutely, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, lovely.
Good. Bit more space then. Come this way. Now this, I think, is a real winner.
Oh, look.
This is huge.
Yeah?
This is
Oh
lovely.
my God, look.
Oh, now that's what you call an ingle nook, isn't it?
Come on over.
Oh,
Wow.
this is absolutely the real wow, actually.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I think our mystery house is pressing a few buttons, isn't it?
I think it's pressing all the buttons at the moment.
Well, let's see if we can press a few more. Come this way.
Down on the ground floor, there's also a large utility and storage room, as well as a contemporary shower room. But we're heading up to the first floor, where there's the perfect place to soak up the rural surroundings.
Right, up here, we've got you this conservatory. which is roasting. Feel how warm it is.
Oh, those views are to die for, aren't they?
Aren't they just?
Fantastic. Just see us sitting here, cup of coffee.
Oh.
Lovely.
As long as those pictures are emerging, I think that's the thing that really informs me.
I'm never going to get any work done on the car. I'm just going to be sitting here drinking endless cups of coffee.
But it informs me that a house is working for people.
Is it, yes.
And that's great.
If we can tear them both away from the views, the bedrooms are all on this level too. A bright, fully tiled family bathroom serves 4 bedrooms in total. There are 2 doubles, one of which is being used as a study, and then there's a smaller single bedroom, and that just leaves the master.
And then finally this one.
Oh, this is nice. Oh, this is great.
very
It's,
nice.
again, it's a
Dual aspect?
dual aspect, yes. Yeah, this is lovely.
Wardrobes, that's lovely.
I mean, it's not en suite, but then you've got that really generous family bathroom.
And you've got the shower room.
And the shower room downstairs.
And the shower room
yes.
downstairs.
Yeah, which is fine, absolutely fine.
It's got far more of a cottagey feel up here, actually.
It's really cosy, and waking up with that view
I know.
out there, I think really sweet, actually.
This is
Yeah.
definitely a winner.
Good, it's a winner. Hooray! Have we got a sale, I wonder?
Wow.
Have we got some buyers?
Oh, I'm a bit concerned about the price.
Well, you should be. Yeah. Let's go outside and take in that garden and talk about the money, shall we?
Okay, thanks.
Come on then.
Outside, the acre of grounds is mostly laid to lawn across various levels, with a deck terrace and a heated swimming pool. What's more, there's a large garage with off-street parking, and the whole plot is enveloped by lush Somerset countryside.
Yes, there we are.
More stunning views.
More stunning views.
That's yet another different view, isn't it?
It's gorgeous, isn't it? So how much, then, is our mystery house on the market for?
Oh, I think it's going to be above budget. And as I've got the last 2 wrong, I'm going to go for 425,000.
425.
I was going to say that. I think looking at it and looking at what we're getting, probably even more, I'm going to go for 430,000.
430. It was on the market at £475,000.
But
It's not anymore. This is now on the market for £399,950
under budget.
by 50 quid.
God. Where do we sign? Where do we sign?
I think this is a real steal, actually, for what you want.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, this is a stunner, and a stunner at the price as well. This is our absolutely ideal house. It really is. Thank you so much for finding it.
Well, now you're on with the price and feeling suitably inspired, you can go and have another look around. But I suggest you start up there, up at that 5-barred gate, and see if you can find yourself a bit of parking.
Yes, that's where I want to go.
Come on then.
Thank you so much.
Off you go.
On the market just shy of £400,000, the detached mystery house is the biggest property in our selection, but still within budget. It comes with a kitchen breakfast room, a large lounge diner and 4 bedrooms. There's also the added bonus of a conservatory overlooking the grounds that extend to an acre, and it's all surrounded with unspoilt rural views.
Absolutely. Can't tell you. Blown away by it. It's still got a chocolate box appeal, but without the thatch, and more open downstairs. But the upstairs has definitely got a cottagey feel, which we like very much. But the views are the thing that's really sold it to me. Absolutely fantastic, beautiful.
I thought the house was going to be way out of our reach. I thought it was going to be far, far over budget. I rather hoped it wouldn't be too far, but to get it under budget, that just took my breath away, absolutely. As far as I'm concerned, when can we move in?
Well, considering we started this morning in the snow, I am loving this sunshine.
This is a bit more like it, isn't it?
Beautiful. With this in the house, what could be better?
It's a perfect combination, isn't it?
It is.
But I am going to have to whisk you away because there's another viewing here in half an hour.
We better be quick.
If you want this, you better start thinking, yeah.
That signals the end of our house search for Andy and Fiona. But whatever your wish list or your finances, Somerset has a whole host of homes to choose from. This 4-bedroom detached cottage built of local hamstone is situated in the popular village of Norton-sub-Hamden. With a guide price of £595,000, there's a real opportunity for any buyer to put their stamp on the accommodation, which includes a handsome dining room and a dual-aspect master bedroom. Or for offers in the region of £475,000, how about this 3-bedroom barn conversion in Lower Odcombe, with outstanding countryside views? It features a master bedroom with exposed stonework and a high-spec country kitchen. Finally, this cosy Grade 2 listed thatched cottage in Winsham comes with 3 bedrooms, an inviting sitting room with Inglemuck fireplace, and the ideal garden for those with a self-sufficient lifestyle in mind. A steal at £285,000. Despite Somerset's tranquil landscape, it was the backdrop for the 1685 Bloody Assizes, in which over 100 locals were sentenced to death by the notorious Judge Jeffreys, who resided here at Taunton Castle. Within the curtilage of the building is the Museum of Somerset and the once derelict Castle House, one of the town's few surviving 15th century properties that has never been open to the public. But now, in the hands of a charity-run project, work is underway to restore Castle House to its former glory.
Russell.
Hello, Jules.
Hello, sir. Nice to see you.
And you.
Russell Lilford from the Somerset Buildings Preservation Trust is overseeing the restoration of this unique medieval building.
Now, I know it's associated with Judge Jeffreys, a man who has gone down in infamy in the history books. What were the assizes all about? What happened to start them?
Well, we go back in history 300 years to the Battle of Sedgemoor, the last battle fought on English soil between the Duke of Monmouth and the King's forces. After the battle, which the Duke lost, the prisoners were rounded up, brought to Taunton and tried by Judge Jeffreys.
I mean, it's a beautiful room, don't get me wrong. But the idea that a man like that, who after a hard day's work committing people to be hung, drawn and quartered would relax in here is a bit spooky.
Yeah, well, people like spooky, don't they? And, yes, it is. It's certainly got atmosphere, there's no question about it.
Before the Trust came to the rescue, this part of the castle was in such a poor state of repair that it was placed on the English Heritage at-risk register.
And what's this little feature down here?
Well, this is absolutely fascinating, Jules. It was really an architectural feature which the Normans used to keep the evil spirits out of churches, so it was in the church doorway.
Restoration of this room is near completion, but there's still a lot more work to do at the hands of skilled craftsmen like Dean Horsey.
This is the real thing, isn't it?
This is lath and plastering, as it was traditionally done, yeah.
So a few bits of hair in there too.
Goat's hair.
Is it goat's hair? So this really is the real stuff.
Yeah. As it would have been.
Yeah. Can I have a go? Seriously?
Yeah,
Can I really have a go?
please do.
I'd love to try it. It's going to be the challenge.
A lot of it is patience. Have a go. See how you get on.
I don't think I'm going to do very well here, am I? You've got so much to do. I'm not sure I'm helping.
Well, no, not really.
But I am enjoying. The
Keep
practice.
There are no quick fixes for a project like this, and sticking firmly to the ethos of repair, not replace, traditional methods are being used throughout. But it's hoped that the full restoration will soon be finished, with plans afoot to incorporate the ground floor rooms into the neighbouring museum.
Well, this is a lovely view of the exterior, Russell.
It certainly is.
It's an extraordinary place. I mean, you've had to unpack so much about this building to understand it, and the story goes on.
It does indeed.
And what about those rooms upstairs that we
Well,
saw?
the rooms upstairs will generate enough income to maintain the building. They're going to be let to the Vivat Trust, who are a charitable organisation that let historic houses to the public.
So you can actually stay in Judge Jeffreys' bedroom?
Absolutely.
That really is spooky.
Castle House has had quite a role to play in the story of Taunton's history, and it's great to know that that legacy is now in safe hands and will be preserved for future generations.
Now, Andy and Fiona are up there somewhere having a cup of tea and a well-earned rest as they discuss everything that we've shown them this week. So have we managed to find them their dream home of the future? Well, on this occasion, I think we might have done. There's a lot of laughter and smiles. That's a good sign. How are we?
We're very well.
Very well, thank you.
Good. Oh, and there's coffee too, even better. Well, we have explored quite a lot over the last few days, haven't we? And not just the local area and its housing stock, we've also explored what's going on in your minds as to what the future may hold.
You certainly have done that.
We started off with a need to find you a lovely home and, of course, somewhere for your car collection. How have we done?
I think the first house, I loved the house, as you said. Roses around the door, thatch. I think for you it was a bit more difficult.
Yeah, I always had issues with the fact that there was no garage and the parking outside was very tight.
We also knew, of course, that it wasn't just Somerset that was of interest. You were quite happy to go into Dorset. And so there we went for our second property with that amazing kitchen.
It was beautiful, yes.
Yes, unfortunately the kitchen just overshadowed everything else in the house. The rest of the house basically couldn't live up to the kitchen.
Yeah. Well, I have to confess, as we started out this morning on the snow-covered Blackdown Hills, I was a little bit apprehensive as to what you would make of our mystery house, but it was all smiles, wasn't it? The sun came out.
Yes, it just blew us away. We couldn't believe that that was the one house and that it was within our budget.
Definitely within our budget. I mean, that's just amazing.
So, what is it about our mystery house that you have fallen in love with?
Absolutely everything about it. The house is good for us, works well for us, I think. The garden was gorgeous and those views, just unbelievable.
And to have a double garage as well, that really did put the tin hat on it.
So what happens next?
I definitely want to go and see it again. And I think it's a real contender. Thank you so much for finding it for us.
That is our pleasure. I'm going to keep everything crossed for you. Well done.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Now, throughout this programme, you may well have caught a glimpse of this wonderful building behind me. It is, in fact, Dillington House. Back in the 1780s, it was home to Lord North. He was then Prime Minister, clearly a man used to making a difficult decision or two, and that, of course, is what we've been doing this week during our house hunt. He was a man who loved Somerset, and this was his escape to the country. And now, with any luck, we've managed to find Fiona and Andy, their very own too. If only you could have that for £400,000.
Fiona and Andy were completely won over by our mystery house and are desperately waiting for that elusive buyer for their own home so they can finally make their much longed for move to Somerset. If you would like to escape to the country in Northern Ireland, Wales, England or Scotland and would like our help, then please
escape to the country. Now, all over the UK, there are stone circles just like this one. For centuries, scholars have debated their origins and their purpose. More often than not, though, they're surrounded in mystery and intrigue. But in this case, we know all about it. So where are we, and what does it all mean? Well, join me in just a few moments, and I'll tell you.
On today's show, we've been entrusted with helping two self-confessed townies to finally find some rural respite.
Well, that's a bit special, isn't it?
And though they struggle with the right vibes in one place,
I'm not quite getting the feel.
we could hit the jackpot.
This is absolutely the real wow.
Well, today we're in Somerset, and this stone circle is in the middle of Ham Hill, a local beauty spot towards the south of the county. Now, Ham Hill itself is an Iron Age hill fort. It dates from about 800 BC, but since it was constructed, it's also become a source for this gorgeous, honey-coloured local hamstone. Now, the stone circle itself was put up at the turn of the millennium to commemorate the struggle and toil of all of those who've worked here over the last 2,000 years or so to extract this stuff. But it's the sort of story we shouldn't forget. Just imagine what would happen if, in a couple of thousand years' time, archaeologists of the future didn't know about it. They might think the circle was much older than it really is. Now, despite the obvious gloom on the horizon over my shoulder, take it from me, Somerset is a beautiful county, especially when the sun is shining. And when it comes to house prices, well, they make for some fairly interesting reading too. At £263,000, your average property here is a mere £5,000 over the national average. Now, as with anywhere, of course, there are some places that attract a premium, not least the pretty little villages of Coombe St Nicholas and Hinton St George. But if you want a bit more bang for your buck, why not head south towards the Dorset border? There, around Yeovil and Ilminster, you'll certainly get a little bit more for your money. But this is certainly a place with something for everyone, including, of course, today's buyers. So let's go and meet them and find out what they're after.
Retired postman Andy caught the eye of his partner Fiona in a shoe shop 8 years ago. They share this 3-bedroom 1960s detached house in Haywards Heath near the south coast, but are looking for a new stomping ground to call home.
We're both from the outskirts of London, And when
This-
we moved here, this was escaping to the
Yeah, I was
country.
gonna say this was the country
But
then.
now it's catching up. It's almost like a suburb of London.
It's a bit too busy now,
It's-
and we want to take that next step to
To get back to the
be
country.
in the country.
So the plan is to swap suburban East Sussex for the wilds of the West Country.
We particularly want to go to Somerset or Somerset-Dorset borders because it's an area that we've known, we've been on holiday, it's quite close to friends and relatives, and
Not too far from the sea,
Yes,
which is
so
a
it is
big,
a-
big
yeah.
plus for me.
And there's another member of their party with itchy feet.
we've got a fairly large dog, a flat-coated retriever called Toto, who we got from a puppy.
And he's a big dog, so he quite enjoys, doesn't he?
He needs a
walking?
lot of exercise, so we need to find some more walks for him.
We do.
With 4 legs catered for, there are also half a dozen four-wheelers that take top priority.
My passion, as it were, are old cars. Although we have a garage here, it's quite small, it's quite tight, and I'm getting to the age where I can't contort my body well enough to get into the positions I need to. Obviously, when we move, we'll have to try and accommodate them. So a bigger garage and a bigger drive would be, and I'd be as happy as anything.
For Andy, it's classic cars, but for Fiona, it's classy cakes.
I spend most of my time in the kitchen. I love